Welcome back to Legit Crypto Lounge, everybody, the place that aims to bring together real projects with real investors. I'm Mark, co-owner of the lounge, and today I'll be leading the AMA alongside Toby, who'll be chipping in with questions from himself and the community as well. So today we are joined by the team behind Bet Your Beans, and we'll be joined by Matt and Sam from the team. So guys, welcome along. If you wouldn't mind starting by introducing yourselves, tell us a little bit about your experience and specifically your individual roles within Bet Your Beans as well.
Okay. Hi, I'm Matt. That's my real name. I'm kind of the creator of Bet Your Beans. I came up with the idea back in December. Kind of put it on the back burner for a little bit. I went over and worked on a Grimace coin for a couple months as the project manager. And then, after that kind of fizzled away, I kind of moved on and took a little bit of a break. And then I was like, okay, time to really push forward with this project. So, I got Sam here with me as well, who I knew from Grimace coin, and who's kind of the first official team member that I brought over. Just a little about me. I work in the film industry full time. I've been doing that 15 years. I build movie sets with trees. I'm fully doxed on the website. I do go on camera. I'll put my camera up here when I'm done driving in a little bit. And, I've worked on movies like The Warcraft, Revenant, Star Trek Beyond, a ton of TV shows. Feel free to go check out my credits. And, I'm used to dealing with directors and producers and all these people, so I have that management experience, and I think it's something this space is needing, is honesty, transparency, and people who understand business. I think we're a little overwhelmed with 21-year-olds who call themselves a developer and don't do anything to actually build a real business or run a business. So we're here to change this space, and I'm lucky to have Sam with me. And Sam, I'll let you speak for yourself, I guess. Today, I'll let you speak for yourself.
Yeah, first time for everything, right? That's good. I met up with Matt, and we started talking about this project after we just started chatting with Grimace Coin. But the way that we both really aligned our kind of vision on this is we really feel like a lot of these projects that we keep seeing, they're cloak and dagger, and that's not what we want to do. We want to be upfront from the start, always be who we are, transparent about everything, and really just treat this like an actual company. I'm passionate about bringing new innovation and technology to the space so we can just elevate it out of where it is now. Right now, it has this perception that it's kind of bandits and burglars, but really all these Web3 blockchain technologies this sort of technology sphere is going to build the future. And I fully believe that, in any sort of project that pushes forward that innovation and that sort of standard, I really appreciate. So what we want to do is we wanted to set out to start a large scale project that is fully transparent from the start, that starts pushing forward these innovations in this technology. I'm really lucky that Matt and I kind of just happened to meet, because I was also kind of mulling about something similar, and then when we started chatting about it, hearts just went off and started actually hammering down some details. And then we got the CoinFlex guys on. We'll probably talk about them later. They're a fantastic dev team. But also a little about me too. I'm always around. DMs are always open, and I really, really do. I know it was touched on earlier. I appreciate questions and comments from the communities. We learn so much from just your guys' opinions and your questions and thoughts. So no question is silly or anything like that. Please, if you have anything on your mind or anything, always feel free to reach out.
100%.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Thanks for that introduction. And so obviously, like I say, looking at your website and stuff, there we go. There's Matt, fully doxed, as he said. We've got a couple of other team members here by looking at your website. So Jeremy Scott and Carmen. How did you guys get to know each other?
So Carmen is yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah, so I knew Jeremy from university, and he went a different path into the more corporate side of British Columbia. He's worked in a lot of government buildings and a lot of HR type work, and he's just somebody that I really wanted to bring on as well because of his interest in the space, as well as his real world people management skills and his ability to understand the inner corporate workings that comes with a lot of experience and those sort of hoops that we're going to have to jump through when we do intend to fully incorporate as a company. His role is going to expand as we expand, but right now it's somebody that I wanted to bring aboard, just get him in and all set up and squared away for when we really need his role to expand as we start hiring people and collecting other players to the community.
Cool. And how about Carmen?
So Carmen, I know Carmen from a crypto group that I started kind of right after I joined this crazy space we're in around a year ago. And I made a little group called Matt Super Serious Chat for super serious crypto investors. And I just kind of started finding all these people who were also getting rugged and kind of learning as we go. And she was one of the first people that joined the group. And then she's become very involved in crypto in her own way. I believe she's on the board of crypto in Nevada. She was very heavily involved with DYOR and Disco Burn token. She's very public. She goes on camera all the time and she speaks. She's very well spoken and she really understands a lot of the business strategies and partnerships that take place in the space. So, it's just kind of like just made sense for me to reach out to her when I'm like, hey, guess what? I'm finally doing a project. And, we're very grateful to have her on board. She's also got a lot of experience in the Twitter space that we haven't really reached out into as much as we'd like to yet. So, she brings a lot to the table, and as well, that's her that she's fully doxed like the rest of us here. So, she's a great asset to have around.
Cool. Okay. Yep. Sounds good. Looking at your titles, your roles within the team and stuff, it's interesting to see you've got R&D, you've got obviously you're heading up as CEO, you've got HR and a partner strategist. But what about the other key elements like finance and marketing?
So marketing is kind of being taken on a little bit by everybody right now. There's no one specific marketing person. We are in some talks with like Brothers Marketing and stuff like that for moving forward, especially with our pre-sale.
Yep.
But finance right now, we're not super worried about as we are still relatively small. Sorry, this guy's almost backed into my truck. But we all have a decent amount of that type of experience, and we're just keeping very close tabs on what we're doing with our finances and where that money is going. And again, we're very honest and transparent about it. So as we move forward, everybody's going to be able to know where our money is going, what we're doing and that type of jazz. So, we are still small. As we scale upwards, obviously the finance element is really heavily going to come into play, especially as we get incorporated, get a lawyer involved, register as a company and do everything up by the book as we need to.
Yeah, I just want to pop in quickly on that one too. I was the treasurer for a nonprofit for a year, and I know Matthews ran his own company for years. So it's one of those, we're taking it on right now, but as we scale up, we definitely intend on having someone whose sole focus is that and making sure that everything's balanced and everything. Right now, we are kind of taking it on together, but there is a full intention to have a professional that focuses solely on that.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know because obviously, like you've just alluded to, that is super important. And with you having the HR side of things, it feels like that's almost the next step, HR, rather than putting the finance on the back burner. Just Matt, on your experience, you said you worked within film and stuff. What is your role in the film industry? What
So
experience?
I'm a greens coordinator. So what that means is on these movie sets, you guys probably don't realize it, but you could literally be filming a forest and they're in the middle of a studio or a parking lot. So we're responsible to build that type of stuff. So when we did The Revenant, I was the on-set lead for the greens department. And, that bear guy would run through and knock all the bushes over. I'd go reset them, stand them back up, and that type of jazz, right? So, I mean, I've
Okay.
been doing that for 15 years. I'm 38. And, as a department head, like, I'm in meetings with directors, producers. I have a crew who work under me. Like, I was just doing 4 shows at a time. So I have guys here and guys there, and I'm managing where they're going, making sure this, we're meeting the art department requirements. So it's a pretty strong management and logistics role, and you have to deal with professional people, at the top of their game all the time. So that's, definitely something that I'm trying to bring to this space, and obviously to our project, is like treating it seriously and understanding, how all these moving parts are going to fit together. And I'll be honest, I think one thing that people don't realize is how many people it takes to make a movie and how much it takes to make a real business. And I see these projects where you've got the dev who wants to control every single little thing by themselves and think they know how to do everything. And, at the end of the day, like, I also direct my own films. I don't have to be the best at everything. I just have to know a little bit about everything, and then hire the best people who can make good decisions that match the vision of what I'm trying to do by building something.
Hmm.
So that's something, it took me a long time to kind of learn that as well. But I'm very glad to, be in a position that I'm in, and very lucky to have that in film and to be able to bring kind of that type of leadership to the table over here.
Yep, perfect. And just briefly on this Grimace coin, what was your role within that token, and how did it do?
So Grimace Coin flew. They got a lot of media exposure. I joined the team, I think, roughly within the first week, just after the first all-time high. And, that was when I kind of realized, you kind of come on board, they bring you into the chat, because I was very well-spoken, and, I have a very calm head on my shoulder. I generally don't, I try and keep things positive, no slurs, nothing like that. And I joined the team, and I realized very quickly right away that there really wasn't any sort of management going on. There was a little bit by William, who's doing the marketing, but, there was no communication. They had no team meetings lined up. They weren't doing community updates. There was nothing. And so, as we started dropping back down in the chart and everything, I was like, guys, like, let's get a team meeting every Saturday. It's like, well, why would we do that? We're all here in the team chat. We can just write in here. And I'm like, well, because you guys aren't talking enough. There's really not a lot of information being given out about where you guys are at or who's doing what. And I was like, how hard is it for us to sit down for half an hour to an hour on a Saturday and talk about what's happening and catch up with stuff, so we're all on the same page? And then I was like, now we do a community update on the Sundays. Like, what's the point of that? I'm like, have you been to SafeMoon? Have you been to Bonfire? Have you seen how people look forward to these meetings and how they get bullish on it? And so I started having like a script of like, here's what we're going to talk about. Okay, the dev doesn't want to talk. Why don't you? Okay, we'll keep it short. Tell us what you're working on the project. We got marketing here. We got this going on. Let's say one big piece of information that we can give out for that's bullish for people to use as marketing for the week. So I really was working on the organization. It got a little quiet. The dev and the marketing guy disappeared. They both got sick. And so me and another guy pretty much took over the token for 2 weeks, because we're like, we're not going to let this die. We're here. We're heavily invested. And so we just kept the community updates going until they kind of came back. And it was very clear that they didn't understand anything about management, because, you can't step away and at least not communicate with people, right? So then I stuck around for a little bit longer. We went down to Bitcoin conference and did that type of stuff. And I shot like a web series. I directed some videos with a guy in a Grimace costume that were quite funny, kind of similar to The Office. So yeah, it went pretty well down there, but egos kind of got in the way, and I ended up stepping away from the project at that point in time, because there just wasn't a lot happening that I think was going to be beneficial to the project. So
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. It seems like you're pretty ingrained in it, and Flair from a really early on as well. So you've seen it right from the start and stuff, and you can bring a lot of experiences hopefully then to your
yeah,
new project.
definitely learned a lot. And because of Grimace, I managed to get a lot of those people over there who knew me, following me over to our project, and being a part of our community. And the Chinese investors as well were extremely loyal and have also followed us over. So
Okay. Yeah, amazing. That's good. That's good to hear. Okay, let's get into the project itself then. Do you want to give us a quick overview of what you are creating?
Sure. So first and foremost, we are not billing Bet Your Beans as just a cryptocurrency. That's not our primary focus. We are first and foremost, we're calling it a social experience app or social betting app that just happens to be powered by blockchain technology. So essentially what it is, it's a peer-to-peer. So I could be sitting here with you and we could be talking about, I think Bitcoin's going to hit 100,000 by August next year. You say, you're an idiot, mate, you're daft. And I'll say, okay, put some money on it. And so we would go to the app, we'd open it up. I would go to open a private crypto bet, and it's going to create a specific URL just for me. I'm going to share that with you. We're both going to connect our wallets, and now me and you are on this betting page. On this page as well, we're going to have a built-in chat at the very bottom, so you don't have to go back to Telegram to figure out the terms. We can sit right there and be like, all right, Tobster, well, let's put in $100 each. There's our pot right there. August, we're going to lock this in. Market cap will be this point. Awesome. Let's go. We're going to sign it. It's going to take, the $100 from each of us. 5% of that is going to go back to the dev team and into our staking pool for our investors. The other 95% is going to get sent off onto the Binance Smart Chain. What we're really doing here is we are going to be factory deploying every bet. So you guys come in, you guys specify the bet and the rules for it. You guys sign off on that. We create a contract that is owned by you guys. You can't change it, but is essentially owned by you. So that 95% of the pot that you guys are now waiting on to get rewarded, we have no access to. So we're factory deploying a custom contract every single time a bet is placed. So it's safe and it's secure. And our custom crypto API is going to look at the rules and your specifications on the bet, and it's going to watch and wait for that time, and it's going to say this guy has won or this guy has lost, and it's going to tell you, and then you can go in and you can claim your winnings. We're also going to be offering a custom bet. So me and you could be sitting here and I could be like, I don't think you could eat that sandwich in 5 minutes. We can write that in the parameters. We'll lock that in, and then at the end, after you've ate that sandwich in 30 seconds because you're a hog, we'll go in and you'll say, I win, and I'll say, yes, he won, and then you'll be able to pull your money out. Now, obviously, we cannot validate that on our end, but you will have the option to add a third-party validator. So if Sam's there with us, Sam will be like, I'm going to be the third party because you know what? Matt's a little bitch, and he always lies. He never wants to give up the money. So Sam can validate that as well. So custom bets are really unique because you can bet on anything. You can bet how many guys a guy's going to kick a football during the course of a game. It just comes down to you guys knowing each other and trusting each other enough to do that. That's kind of our main application. We're going to be having gamified social elements with our bean score system. So every time you place a bet, every time you lose, you win so many bets in a row, you're going to earn bean score. Think of it like the Xbox gamer score. So you'll be able to go and look at the leaderboards and see who's been playing a lot, who's moving up in the leaderboard system there. That's just kind of the start of that. Our version 2 of the app is going to start adding sports APIs. So now you can go bet on like a football game on who's going to win, who's going to lose. And we're really going to be bringing in the Be the Best system. And that's much more advanced leaderboards. So now I can go and I can be like, I can go to Sam's profile. It's going to tell me how many times I've lost or won against him. I'll be able to add him as a friend, or I can add him as a rival. You'll be able to track how everybody's doing in every type of bet they're doing, whether it's sports or it's crypto. And you're going to be able to go and be like, this guy is the best price prediction better on the market. I'm going to DM him a bet on Ethereum and how much I think it's going to move by the next week, right? So we're really going to be opening it up to these gamification elements. And as you play as well, you're going to be unlocking things like special avatars, bragging rights, that type of stuff. And you can use your Bet Your Beans to actually purchase these things and put them on your title, on your profile as bragging rights, right? Nice. And then last but not least, the way that our BYB ties into this entire economy is we are really separating the token from the app itself. So Bet Your Beans token is going to be used for staking, for passive income, and it's going to be used for the in-game currency. And so what this means is like every buy or sell on the chart and every bet placed is going to be giving some money back to that staking pool to keep it high for our investors. And you do not need Bet Your Beans to place a bet, right? There's too many projects out there that are like, yo, yeah, you just have to hold a certain amount of our token or buy our token and then spend it. Like, why complicate it? At the end of the day, I don't have to convince anybody to buy this cryptocurrency for me to make money. I'm sick of people like, get your grandma, get your parents to buy, get all your friends. Fuck that. All I need to do is be like, check this cool gaming platform out here. Me and you can place a bet against each other. That guy starts using that platform. He gets his friend to use it. Every single bet that they place is going to be going back to the staking pool and rewarding people in BNB. So you don't have to sell a cryptocurrency. You don't have to sell a chart. Hell, you don't even have to sell anything being on the Binance Smart Chain. People can come on board, and with our version 1, they can spend BNB or they can use Crow to place a bet, right? Then we'll just be building other versions of the DApp. So now you can bring in Ethereum, you can bring Polygon, whatever we want to do, whatever our investors are catering for, we're going to make it easy for them to come on board in under a minute, place a bet. We take that 5%, it goes back to further the app development and our investors. We're not selling a cryptocurrency, we're selling an app at the end of the day. And that's where everyone's going to be making a lot of money off this.
Okay, that's a nice introduction, and I do really like the concept. It's something that could have been implemented in our group more recently. When I don't know if Toby's with us now, he can share his little story. But there's a little bet going on with him and David Hunter from the group, and I think this would have been very fitting and worked well with that situation, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely, mate. I'm just saying, I'll give him a third chance, mate. I'll give him another chance to lose his money. I've won the bet twice now. I've won the bet twice now, and he won't admit it. So third time, we'll do it for real.
So that takes me to one of my questions, though, and I know you've already half answered it. But when there are two people that put on a bet, like Toby says, no, the bottom's not in. David says yes, the bottom's in. And when that gets decided, but still that person disagrees. Oh no, the candle wasn't didn't last long enough. It never happened. Like you said, there's like a mediator or a third party that can verify who's won and stuff. Does that have to be added into the rules before the bet is placed?
Yeah. So I mean, like, if you guys know you're gonna be doing a bet with a bunch of money on it, you could be like, yo, T-Row, can you come be our third party? I don't trust this guy right here. And so you can have that impartial person or somebody come on board and do that. I mean, if you know each other in real life too, you can always just carry a baseball bat. There's always a general form of persuasion, but I don't recommend that. And let's say worst case scenario, it's too late. You never got a third party validator. One of you obviously won, but you maybe cannot agree on that. You guys will have that option to both sign with your wallets and withdraw the pot back out, and you'll get your 95% of what you put in, because we've already taken our 5% off the top, right?
Okay.
So there are going to be ways for you guys to protect your investment at the end of the day.
Okay, fair enough. And with the elements that you can control, the bits that, because looking at your website and stuff, there's going to be some initial ones like this, top current cryptocurrency markets and top 10 coins and stuff. Again, how does that work? How is that decided, validated, and sent out?
So that's where our custom crypto API is essentially going to be watching these charts and tying into these things, and it knows what it's got lined up that it has to try and validate, right? So it's going to automatically do that. It knows all the contracts that are lined up. It's got the rules and regulations of what you guys have placed and what you want to bet on, and it's going to take care of all of that automatically. So anything that's crypto related that uses the API is automatically going to be tracked, just like the sports thing as well. So we don't have to worry about a third party validator or anything like that. And that's kind of the beauty of the platform as well, is just the fact that we don't even have to hold your money, right? So you will be able to bet on the top 10 cryptos right off of the top. That's kind of one of the things that we're stoked on, and we're going to be able to add other cryptos down the line as well. You know, like it'd be great as we get a really big bullish project coming out, you know, and you're like, yo, Squid Grow, you guys are launching today. Do you mind if we post some links in here to the Bet Your Beans? And you know, then we're not even really promoting our cryptocurrency. We're saying people can come here and, you know, place a bet against their friends on what they think it's going to get up to market cap wise on launch day, right? So there's a lot of stuff in partnership wise that we're going to be able to do as we start adding other tokens to the list that our custom bot will automatically track as well. So.
Okay, perfect. And with the custom ones, is it always going to be A or B? You know, is it going to be 50-50? I say this, you say this, and we get a winner. Are they going to be? Is there an option to add in, you know, like multiple options so that more people can get involved?
So currently, you know, right now we're just kind of looking at the two people betting head to head, but there's so much scalability with what we're doing here. Like one of the ideas we kind of came up with on one of the other AMAs, like the other week, I was like, look, guys, the world is our oyster. We could literally sit here and build something with this where we can line up a parameter and say, okay, if this chart that just launched drops 80% in the next 24 hours, it's going to be a rug. Do you think it's going to rug or not? And people will be able to come and place the bets on the yes side or place it on the no side and connect their wallets. And now you've got like however many people locked into this thing, and then the time expires, you know, and then boom, it automatically writes that contract with all those names. And all of a sudden, if it's a rug as specified, you know, everybody on the yes side gets to share the pool from everybody on the no side, right? So there's a lot of fun things that we're going to be able to do like that, where we can, you know, you'll be able to come and use, we're going to call it the Ruggernaut bot. So you guys could come, you know, we could set it up, and then now you guys can have it in your community. Is this going to rug or not? Use the Telegram bot. It shows you what side's winning, yes or no. People can go on board and vote. You know what I mean? And then we wait for it to get validated by the specification. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting things we're going to be able to do. We are definitely focusing on 1 versus 1 at the beginning. That's going to be our V1. And from that point on, we get that in, we start to build a user base. You know, we have that income coming in to continue to develop the applications. There's so many things that we're going to be able to do that we can't even talk about yet because we don't really want to get ripped off, that's for sure.
Yeah, sure. No, you've got to keep some of these ideas close to your chest. You definitely don't want people copying you. I guess my only concern is it's easy to say yes or no for certain elements, but like you just explained about the rugging example, obviously you know what it's like. If a project does rug, the dev, I say in inverted commas, the dev will inevitably come up with an excuse as to what happened, what went wrong, he got scammed, blah blah blah. Like how are you going to actually determine the true outcome of it each time?
But that's the thing is, like, you know, whatever rules and regulations we make, when we do the rug or not, we'd obviously run through the community, make sure we're all on the same page, and everybody would understand what's going on there.
Okay.
You know, the custom bots, though, that's all up to you guys. You guys can make rules as crazy as you want, as specific as you want, whether it's about a pitch, you know, how many kicks in a soccer game, all that type of stuff. So you guys will be able to do your own rug or not type thing if you want. Do you think it's going to rug or not? And it's up to you guys to determine whether it is or not. But I mean, so like the rug or not is just an example of what we can do. Like we haven't fully formulated what those rules would be for that. But obviously anything that we do like that, where we are building something and our bot is going to be validating it, we're going to be very upfront and transparent about that and make sure that the community agrees with the rules we've made, right? So beyond that, you know, the custom bot, I think, is going to be one of our most heavily used items as we get going forward. It's just going to be fun all around, right? Unless you guys are taking baseball bats to each other, which again, we don't really recommend. So.
No, we wouldn't recommend that either. So, like when the bets come in, you explained that 95% will be put into an automatic smart contract ready to hand out to whoever the winner is, and that 5% then, is it the full 5% that goes back into the staking pool, or is
we're right now we're do 2.5 to the staking pool and 2.5 back to the dev team, right? But we can fluctuate and change that number as necessary. You know, if we have a lot of dev funds and we want to bring that APY up, you know, we can kind of do whatever we want with that. So.
Yep. Okay. So, like, how do you make money out of this?
Well, we're going to be making money out of it because we're going to be filling up that dev and marketing wallet, right?
Okay.
So as we scale upwards and we have that high volume coming in, you know, we will at some point start paying people through that wallet if we have enough money to be paying people. Like everybody else, like there are no team tokens in this. I bought a bunch of our NFTs personally, and you know, we are really pushing the passive income as a huge part of this project. So, you know, you're going to be able to buy. So like right now, you can actually buy our NFTs. The 0.25 BNB each. They're incredibly sick. You can go to mint.betyourbeans.com. Somebody will probably show them in here. And we're doing something 100% unique with this, as if we have a pegged value of tokens to these NFTs. We've never seen anyone do that before. So you're going to get one of 4 different types of NFTs with anywhere from 15% to 60% above what you would get of pre-sale value for 0.25 BNB. So if you buy one of these NFTs and you get a diamond NFT, you're actually getting 0.4 BNB worth of pre-sale token value pegged to this. So what we're doing is this is essentially a private sale. You can buy these NFTs and have them staked and ready to go, so that upon launch after our pre-sale, you know, you're going to be getting those passive income from that staking pool with the value of tokens that are pegged in these NFTs. So, you know, we're really selling these to people who believe in the project. They like what we're doing. They think it's a great idea, and you can go buy a couple of these NFTs. Like, you know, I think I bought 4 or something, and they're just going to sit in my wallet. And as soon as I can, I'll stake them. And then launch day, I'm just going to be getting a portion of that staking pool with these NFTs. So that's something we're really bullish about. So feel free to check those out. And again, if we can sell like 10 of them, we'll give one away to one of the wallets that buys. So yeah, that's a really big part of the entire platform and what we're trying to do there. So as well, every buy and sell on the chart is also going to be helping fill up that staking pool as well, right? We want to keep that APY high for the people who believe in the project and can see the long term, you know, because again, at the end of the day, you're going to be making BNB from everybody who buys and sells. Why would you really want to sell on that chart? You're just going to want to get people to come in and use the platform to continue making passive income.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I don't know if you can see, but I'm on the minting website at the moment for the NFTs. Looks like you've sold 210 of the 880. Is that going to be the total supply of NFTs? 880.
Yeah, that's the total supply of the NFTs. You know, and right now they're at this price. The beautiful thing about it is this: because there's the pegged value of tokens in it. If we launch and we're at 100x a year from now, these NFTs that you buy are going to be worth pretty darn close to that, right? Because if you want to buy tokens a year from now, we're at 100x, you're not going to be getting that many tokens compared to what you would get if you bought during pre-sale. So if you do want to get out and you own one of these NFTs and you buy it now, it's going to have a very significant value. It's going to fluctuate probably just a little below market cap price, right? So we're confident when we get our pink sale going that these are going to really start to go for people who are hearing about the project for the first time. They realize the value of being able to stake these. And of course, you know, after we launch, if there's still any of these left, these are going to be going up in value, the ones that we're trying to sell as well, right? As compared to just sticking at 0.25 BNB. So it's kind of get them while they're hot, because they're not going to be around very long once we really start moving forward with the pre-sale.
Yeah. So they're 0.25 BNB to mint at the moment. Did you say that if you get a random tier, that would be worth the equivalent of 0.4 BNB at launch?
Yeah, so you could get anywhere from like 0.28, I think, is the lowest. It's like a 15% increase to 60% above what you've bought for. So like the diamond one, you get like 0.4 BNB worth. I think the gold is 40% above pre-sale value. The silver is 30% above pre-sale value. So, yeah, and then the bronze is 15%.
And this is random, obviously. So if I was to
Yeah.
mint one now, it would just randomly decide which one I was going to get.
100%. 100%. It'll show up right there at the bottom when you connect your wallet. It'll show you in the numbers how many you got of each. It's funny, like I bought 4 on launch day and I actually got a diamond in there. We had some guy come in and buy like 20 trying to get a diamond. You know, it's just the fucking luck of the draw. But yeah, it's they're pretty sweet looking, man. They're all animated. They rotate. They look real nice. You can check them out on refinable.com. So
just on that, can I just ask a question on that, Mark?
Yeah.
So, I'm guessing. I mean, this is kind of like a private sale, like you said, right? Is 50 the cap on the NFTs, or is there no cap? You can buy as much as you want.
Bro, you can buy as many as you want. It's essentially like if somebody had come in and bought every single NFT that we had for sale, they would have had a value of roughly 10% of our supply. They wouldn't actually own 10% because it's just a pegged value, but that's how much in regards to staking they would be having of rewards coming in, which is pretty significant in regards to what you would be getting for staking rewards. Like, that's a lot.
So I'm with you. So just to clarify, you're not actually getting the token equivalent. You're staking them, and that's coming back as Bet Your Bean token.
Yeah. So you're getting So like, let's say it's 145,000 or whatever, roughly, for one of these, as an example. It would be like buying 145,000 tokens and staking them, right? Okay. Except you can never sell these tokens. These tokens are always going to be tied into that NFT, and these tokens actually aren't part of our total token supply. It's just representation of value of it, right? For what you get rewarded.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Interesting.
It's definitely unique. You know, I think some people are a little hesitant to buy because people really want to be able to sell their tokens, you know, often after pre-sale and take that profit and run and get out of it. But we have people who come in and just buy 1 or 2 going, I believe in this long term, and they're happy that they can just stake this and then never have to worry about it again. They don't have to watch the chart. They just sit there and keep earning passive income, you know, and I think that's kind of one of the neat things about it.
Yeah, it is a cool concept.
What is staking? I might have missed this. What are staking rewards paid out in?
BNB.
BNB. Cool.
Yeah. You know, we don't want to reward people on our token because then if they want the money, they're just going to go and sell on the chart. And at the end of the day, like, we want to keep our ecosystem pretty tight. You know, you're buying BYB to upgrade your social accounts and bragging rights, or for passive income, right? Give it to people in something BNB, and they can do whatever the hell they want with it. If they want to then buy more and our chart goes up, that's cool. You know, but we want to leave it up to people to do what they want with their money, just like the crypto space is. Too many people shame people for buying and selling and dumping on charts. At the end of the day, we're all here to make money. You guys do what you want to do with it. And something about our chart is like, we're going to be watching our chart. We know people are going to dump off the top. But if you're looking at our company, I'm not too concerned if I only have $10,000 in liquidity. Anyone could be like, oh, your market cap, your liquidity. I'm going to be like, I don't care. I have, let's say, 1,000 transactions coming through, and 5% of all those transactions are going back to the dev team to keep developing stuff and to keep our investors having passive income. What's a venture capitalist coming along to buy a company going to look at? He's going to look at my liquidity, or is he going to look at the amount of transactions per day and the amount of money coming through our business? They're going to be looking at that. They're not going to care as much about that liquidity in that chart because they understand the value, just like a swap at the end of the day. You know, a swap is making their money through the transactions coming through their swap. And that's what anybody, they wanted to buy a swap, would really be looking at the end of the day. How many people are using your application, right? So that's kind of how we're building this in a little bit of a different way, where we're not as concerned about the chart as most people.
And just one more question on that. Is this the only way to stake? Is with NFTs, or can you stake tokens as well?
No, you can stake tokens as well, 100%. And, you know, we are not doing a staking penalty or nothing at this time. We're not making it so you have to stake for a full run. We, again, want it to be, it's your money. If you stake and you believe in it, go for it. If you don't, you want to pull your money out, go for it. I don't believe that we should be penalizing people for just trying to have access to their money again.
All right. Well, I'm sure Mark will come to it later about the tokenomics if they feed into the staking as well. But so we won't go into that now. But Sorry, interrupting. Carry on, Mark.
No, all good.
I was going to lead on and with that, but we'll stick on the app and stuff. So where are we at in terms of the development of the app at the moment?
So in regards to development of the app, we are in the very early stages of that. Our app developers are the CoinFleck team, who have Dependable and Deployable. These guys are incredible blockchain developers. They do custom blockchain tools. They're really making a name for themselves right now, and have been growing in the space and getting a lot of attention. I highly recommend you guys go check them out. Coinfleck.com. Go to their Telegram. Listen to their Wednesday updates. These are some of the smartest guys in the space, and I'm super lucky to have them on board. Like me and Sam, they're also Canadian. They've also gone through registering a business and building a business, how to do it legally and with crypto. So as we scale upwards, we're going to be doing the exact same steps that they've done. And I've known them for quite a long time. RJ was also part of our developers or my investment group. So there's a lot of trust there. They're not just guys that we found on the internet to hire. The guys, I've watched kind of grow in this space. So in regards to the app development, even before we moved forward with this, I was like, here's what I'm thinking. And there's been one other project like ours that came out, and they hadn't done their homework. And they did a pre-sale, and the token died, and nothing ever happened because of it. Whereas we went through with them from the beginning and said, here's what we need to have happen. We need to build custom contracts. We need to track these crypto things. We need built-in chats. We need an entire front end for this. Here's how we see it scaling. Here's what we need to do. And they went to all the guys that work with them. They came back with a cost analysis of our original version of this thing. Here's what it's going to cost, and here's our timeline. So we're looking at roughly around 3 months was the initial plan from the time of our pre-sale happening to actually get the app developed. And it is not a cheap app. I've had other people approach me like, man, we could build this in a week for you. This is nothing. It'll cost a couple grand. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, we're talking about Web3 developments, wallets tied into the website, into leaderboards, into having a built-in chat next to all this, into being a factory deployer. And for anyone who doesn't know a factory deployer, we're essentially creating contracts on the fly and locking it to people. It's not like it's just one contract here and here. We are spitting out fucking contracts for every single bet that is owned by people who are placing the bets. So it is quite a complex system. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a bit of a question about that. Why would you create a factory whenever you? I'm thinking. I'm looking over the topology of your whole system, and it's basically escrow for betting. That's pretty much it. Yeah. It's I bet this, I bet that. The conditions of the escrow are if they win, I get it. Yep. If they don't win, the other guy gets it. It's escrow. Why would you use a factory to spit out new contracts for that? Why would you need a new escrow contract? Why not just create a generic contract, not unlike an NFT contract, that just takes a set of conditions and then use an oracle to actually satisfy the bet conditions? So you build up your betting portfolio inside the app rather than having to spit out contracts left, right, and centre. Because at the end of the day, there's only a certain amount of contracts and contract addresses that you're going to be able to get in the entire ecosystem. That's how this EVM works. And you're going to run out if you set, like if you're spitting out contracts from a factory, you're going to run out of addresses before you run out of bets. And just that's from a developer point of view.
Right. So one of the beautiful things that we have about this is by allowing us to create new contracts for everybody, there's no security risk of us ever being able to take their money, right? It's 100% secure. And by having it create a new contract and sending the money out to the Binance Smart Chain, and then it automatically being pulled back, there's obviously some gray areas here in the space. And because we are not taking your money and then holding it and then sending it back to you, it's being held on the Binance Smart Chain. We do not require a banking license, right? And when it comes to being a gambling or betting platform, we are essentially just providing a contract creation service for people, right? Now, as we scale upwards.
I understand now. So there's no central money held, therefore you're not responsible for that. I get you. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. it blew my mind. I was like, why would you not just have one contract? And then I get it now. I completely understand you now. No, that's fine. That was a really good answer. Thanks, buddy.
No worries. I honestly, I really appreciate that question, because when I originally, again, I'll be honest, I'm not a super nerdy tech guy. You know, I'll watch the charts and do that type of shit. I don't really read contracts, but I will find people smarter than me to hire, and that's what I've done with these guys. So my original thought was like, can't we just make one big wallet and hold it all in there? And he's like, yeah, but then people are going to be like, well, what if you guys have access, or can you pull it? And he's like,
well, it's,
and at the end of the day, the banking license, you know, you have to have one of those, because you're taking people's money and then deciding when to give it back. So we start to kind of operate on these fringes. Yeah, go ahead.
It's a massive attack vector. If you're holding a lot of funds in one place, it's a huge attack vector. It's from a safety point of view, it really does make sense. Yeah, no, you're okay. You're good. You're good.
All right. I appreciate that question, man. We like the hard ones, and you made my heart flutter for a little bit. I was like, oh, I think I got the right answer for this. We've answered a couple times, but generally in different ways. So
I can't believe that Crypto Batman's found a satisfying answer. You've obviously done well there. In terms of the app, then, so CoinFlecker obviously producing it for you. How are they being paid? Are you paying them in tokens or dollars? What?
No, so we're just paying them in BUSD. Essentially, we're paying them in whatever cryptocurrency they like. But yeah, we're not paying anybody in tokens. None of the team are taking tokens. Nothing like that. You know, we're all investing as we want for the NFTs. We're all going to be buying to the pre-sale on our own and that type of jazz. And so far, like everything that's being paid, I'm around 20,000 into this right now, just between the website, everything else. That's all been my money being put into this. You know, we haven't taken any private equity or nothing like that. You know, we've gotten a little bit from our NFT sales, and the NFT sales have eventually paid for the staking DApp so far, which has been really good for us and a little bit of our marketing. So, you know, things are definitely moving forward on that end as well.
And do you mind explaining like what the budget is for the app and whether you've got that covered?
So currently, no, we do not have that covered. That's where we're hoping a lot of the private / NFT sale is going to be helping us out with a lot of that. You know, getting that app developed, started on sooner rather than later. But for our app itself, we're looking at anywhere. You know, we're definitely looking at above the $50,000 range on the lower end. But yeah. I'm just going to leave it at that. I mean, from the initial cost analysis, there's a lot of things that we've kind of brought, like the bean score system and tying in these other things that we would like to have ready for V1. But on the other side, we've also, you know, because we built our own minting DApp, we had to have contracts ready for that. So some of that money is actually already being paid for that would have come out of our initial fund for them. So, you know, it's definitely a big chunk of change to do this and to do it properly and effectively.
Okay, so obviously at the moment you're going through the NFT sales. I haven't done the sums off the top of my head. You've got 880 at 0.25 BNB. How do you anticipate the rest of it, the app development being funded? Is it through the charts?
So that's where our pre-sale. No, it's going to be the pre-sale on Pink Cell, right?
Okay.
So, yeah, that's where we really expect it to come. Like the NFTs were kind of like, let's give people who can see the value of the platform an opportunity here. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of a big part of it. So.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So let's.
Sorry, I just pulled my mirror in. But a lot of that was to be like, give people a good opportunity. We'll make this really unique opportunity to get in early, make some passive income, and give us some money to really market the pre-sale, because we know we have something totally unique to the space here. The big thing is right now we are in a bear market, and people really just want to hop in and they want to get some tokens, and they want to make a 2 or 3x and get out, right? But so as the word has grown, like our community, you know, we have over 750 members. All those people are people who have heard about us, they like what we're doing, and they believe in the project. So we got real growth with real people. And so, you know, we really want to try and raise a good amount in that pre-sale to cover fully fund fully fund the app development, give us money for the real world marketing that we want to do, including like YouTube videos, and like by that I mean like directing our own commercials, right? Because I work in film. I want to be able to make these funny viral videos with our hero, Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, and really branch out into that real world marketing. It's not just going to be AMAs and call groups. We're going to be having these gaming advertisements out there where people can come and see it after they're watching videos about crypto and stuff like that. That's not just people doing a project review. That's not what we want, right? So we want to have that money to really establish that real world branding with the Jack and the Beanstalks, the dude in the costume in the bar, and the two Chad bros. Bro, you can't sink that 8 ball. Yeah, I can. Put your money where your mouth is. I got no cash. Dude pops up out of nowhere. Oh, you want to bet your beans on a lad? Put your money where your mouth is, you know? Like, there's a lot of marketing opportunities. And, like, I've directed comedy before. We won some awards. Kevin Hart has given my short film a shout-out. You know, so, like, I think there's a lot that we can do to really start tapping the real-world playability and the guys who are into the crypto space that don't even care about the shitcoin BSC space and be like, yo, I can just come and use Ethereum 2.0 and put a sports bet down or take my buddy's money here as we're playing video games. You know, so the gamification and that fun aspect is a huge part of our marketing. So we want to get that money too, to really start establishing that side of this, that you're not just down here on the BSC. You're just somebody who likes to play and have fun. So the pre-sale will fully cover the app development, give us a bunch for marketing money, redevelop the website, and also start developing things that aren't going to be included in version 1, like the sports API and the historical API that's going to really let us start building towards our leaderboards.
Nice. Some really nice answers there, and I really like your the ideas behind your the YouTube videos and stuff. On that note, how are you going to make it as accessible and easy to use as possible for people? If you're bringing in people from outside crypto.
Yeah, so we're not necessarily from the beginning bringing in people from outside crypto, but that is definitely on our target. We know that when we get up into that point where now we're using fiat in some sort of way and then bringing people on board, you know, we will have to be a fully functioning company at that point in time. But that's what we would like to aim for. We'd like it to be, you can come on board, use a credit card and do that type of stuff. But there's a lot more to actually do that, especially if you now want to take crypto back into fiat, that we would have to be a very significantly larger company than we are right now. We are still learning to crawl before we can run, right? So, but there's so many reputable companies out there that we can attach to this as we move forward. And you know, getting anybody in the crypto space for us is not super complicated, like, you know, getting flus involved, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, because if we want, somebody's got Ethereum and they want to come on board and play, we're not going to be selling them or telling them that we're even on the Binance Smart Chain. That doesn't matter. They just want to say, what cryptos can I use? Oh, I can use Ethereum 2.0. We'll have built an Ethereum 2.0 version of the DApp. They come in, they connect on the Ethereum 2.0 network. Boom, we take that 5%, we bridge that over to the Binance Smart Chain that goes back into our holders and into the team wallets, right? Because that DApp is literally just going to deploy out with Ethereum out into the pot, bring it back in Ethereum to them, right? They're winnings. So
nice. Yeah, no, it's sounding good. Just before we got into the pre-sale side of things and look into the detail of that, so you brought on board Carmen as your partner strategist. Have you got partnerships already lined up?
Do you mean with like other big tokens or?
Well, I just wondered,
like,
with Carmen's role, is there other partnerships that you've looked to establish, that you're going to look to establish in the future?
She's reached out to a couple of the larger companies that she has helped out in the past about what we're doing here. And there's nothing solidified at this point in time. It's very preliminary. Most of these people that are a very well-established crypto project or brand that think they could use our betting application maybe with their cryptocurrency on their platform, you know, there's obviously going to be a lot of work to kind of tie our systems into theirs, whether it's custom contracts and, you know, making it work with what they like. But most of these guys really are going to want to see a working version. They're going to want to see where we're at market cap wise and stuff like that, and see that we've delivered on the version 1 of it before we ever can really get into bed with a lot of these companies. And I'll be honest, I don't blame them. We have a really big idea here. We have a very good team. We're open and transparent, but there's still that can these fucking crazy people pull this off, right? So,
Yeah,
and we
that's
will,
it,
and we
isn't it?
can. We're confident.
Yeah. I guess the main ambition to start off with is you just need the app up and launched, don't you? You need to get over that hump, and then you can start moving on from there. And then
yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things too. I see in the chat there's a lot of questions about that too, for income in between. I know Matt touched on it, but with our pre-sale here, that is pretty well fully going to go for app development as well as the other marketing and everything. But a lot of what we are going to be doing hedges on that success. So we're not going to be messing around, really. We want to get that paid for and developed so that we can really start moving on these partnerships and adopting users and starting to move on other functionalities. But that really is the first hurdle. And we've had it budgeted so that we can achieve that already after pre-sale.
Okay, cool. Right, let's have a look at the pre-sale details then. So how much are you looking to raise?
So, we've had a bit of a discussion about that. Originally, we were looking to do $250,000 soft cap and $500,000 hard cap, which we know is a pretty big ask. Coming back around to it, I think we're going to lower it probably close to something like 175 and 350,000. We know how expensive this is and how much work it's going to take to build out from there, and having that bit of a buffer to continue development would be really nice. But even at the low end of our soft cap, that will give us everything that we need to fully develop the app, do our marketing, build the website, and get started on the next stuff. But ideally, the more that we get, the more we can start pulling in a lot of the features that we can't really tell people about yet, that we're also excited about, and really start fleshing the platform out and really hitting the marketing in a stronger way than most crypto projects ever do. So, right now, I think we're, based on our discussion, 175,000 soft cap, 350,000 hard cap on Pink Cell, and I think we're aiming for 2 weeks from now. This is the first time we've really talked about it publicly. So there is, there will be a little bit more team discussion and marketing talk about that amongst us. So it could fluctuate a bit, but that's kind of where we're standing at this point in time. So.
Okay, and you said that you were doing that on Pink Cell, didn't you?
Yeah.
How are you looking
that's
to do
where
that? Is that going to be whitelisted, or are you going to open up to the public straight away?
So what we're doing for whitelist is we're going to have 2 tiers of whitelist. So thank you for bringing that up, because I do forget it fairly often. But every NFT comes with a tier 1 whitelist. So that gets you a guaranteed spot into the whitelist, into the pre-sale. And then we're going to be doing a tier 2 whitelist, and that's kind of your traditional referral, get your friends on board, do this type of stuff to really help us build and get a lot of awareness brought to the project. And then we'll be opening it up to public after that. So.
Okay. And how about minimum max contributions and discounts?
I think we're doing 0.1 minimum. And I think we might be doing 2 BNB max per wallet, something like that. I'd have to circle back around on that one. I'm not entirely sure what our final numbers were on there.
And will there be a level of discount against the launch price?
No, I believe that we are just launching. Pre-sale, I believe, is the same price as our launch price.
Yep. Okay. And like you said, given the market conditions, so if you're looking at a soft cap of 175, what happens? Worst case scenario, you don't hit that.
Then we'd either talk about doing a fair launch, or we would move into just doing another launch with a lower soft cap and hard cap. But we're pretty confident that we'll be able to hit that number. There's a lot of larger eyes on us waiting to see what's going to happen. That might not necessarily want to buy an NFT, but we think that number is very doable. Okay. I mean, you don't see many projects where you've got a fully doxed team that really put themselves out there, have a legit business plan, have proper devs on board, and have a roadmap that's going to last for a year. Just to get us started before we move.
I want to say on that as well is that if we don't hit the soft cap for some reason on this one, it doesn't mean the end of Bet Your Beans. We're just going to pivot, revamp, and figure out either
Yeah.
why that happened or what we can do better. But this is definitely a project that won't fail if that happens. We're going to keep on going no matter what.
Okay, that's obviously good for people to know, especially people that are buying these NFTs in advance.
Yeah, this project is not going to die.
Cool.
Just a quick one from me. I mean,
Yeah.
essentially, it is, like you said, it's a private sale, which is probably the most riskiest time to get involved with something. I mean, we all know that, because if it doesn't come to fruition, then essentially, it's money lost. But I just want to mention about the mint a minute. Like, is that open until it's finished? Is the mint open until it's filled?
Yep.
Do you worry about it taking buy pressure off the pre-sale? Because I mean, it's a fairly big raise for a private, and then to want to get them people to then commit to the pre-sale where there is no discount. Do you worry about the buy pressure there?
No, I mean, not really, because I think as we come up on the pink sale, pre-sale, and we start really doing AMAs that are going to push that, I think that these are going to start going relatively fast when people realize they can get it at a better than pre-sale rate. But people are still going to want tokens at the end of the day. They still want to have that option to be able to buy and sell on a chart. Like we did have one guy be like, hey, why don't I just spend all my money on the NFTs? And I told him, I was like, no, man, save some money for the pre-sale as well. Because who knows what's going to happen with your family, your car breaks down, or medical emergency. If you need to sell for something in your life, you're going to do that. And so I'm confident that most of our investors, they're going to want to get in on the NFT sale for that passive income, but they're still going to want to be able to play with the chart. So I'm not as concerned about that. At the end of the day, like, if I would say, let's say our NFTs go bangers, and then we end up a little bit shy, and we have to throw a little bit of money in to hit that soft cap, I'm not too concerned about that. It's still money back into us at some point in time, but we're confident we'll be able to hit it on all fronts. On the other hand, if our pre-sale goes, and for some reason our NFTs haven't sold, those NFTs are still going to be very valuable and will probably go up in price as well with our chart, right? So, really good question. We do run a bit of a risk there on that end, but I think tokens are way more desirable than NFTs at this point in time. So it's a bit of a hard risk even just doing the private sale like this, to be sure. I'll be honest, if it wasn't a little frustrating, because we would also get a lot more traction on this from a lot of people too. But this is the choice that we made, and we are still finding people who are super interested in them. So we keep forging ahead with it. We know we got something pretty unique here, and the more people that hear about us, especially the pre-sale is going to get more eyes on us. Our confidence grows day by day on that end.
So I really like what you're doing, to be honest with you, and I like the unique way you've tried to do the private sale. Maybe slightly bad timing with the market, but there's nothing you can really do about that. But like from my perspective now, I'm kind of like, you're going to be under my spotlight, because I want to see how you move to the pre-sale and how that goes, and whether the NFTs start filling then. So that's my position, and that's my personal thoughts at the minute, how I'm going to play this out. Because you've got something really unique. It's something that, like you said, is quite marketable, and given your background, I think you could push it in a different direction from the usual kind of plays, if you know what I mean. So, I mean, it's definitely on my radar, and I'm going to be watching the mint and how that goes, for sure. It's interesting, and like I say, the concept's unique about how you're trying to do this private sale, and it's interesting.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. So it sounds like you're buying 10 today. Sounds like you really want to get that NFT pre-sale done, right? Is that what I'm hearing, Toby?
Yeah, I'll be watching, man. I'll be watching how it feels, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of people watching right now. Yeah.
Just one question on we were talking about an app. Are you talking about a D app, or are you talking about an app for an app store?
Well, it would be a DApp, but we would be releasing as well, or aiming to release an Android and an iPhone version of it, and have it pretty streamlined across all fronts.
Okay. Do you see any potential issues with releasing a betting app and a crypto app? How hard it's going to be?
100% we do. We know there's obviously going to be some sort of complications involved in that. I mean, worst case scenario, we'll be able to have an app for people to download on their own, but we'll also be able to have it, like a mobile version where you just add the shortcut to your, and you go and you log in and do it through that. But we are aiming for the stores, and this is where, we're going to be having that crypto lawyer on board with us. We're going to be trying to protect ourselves as much as we need to as we move upwards into legit business practices. But at the end of the day, we're going at it in that gray zone that we're actually not a betting app. We're just a contract deployer is essentially what we're doing. And we're just letting you come in, put in your specifications, and there we go. How far that argument is going to take us, we're not sure. But again, because we're not just holding everything here in our wallets, there are a lot of legal gray areas that we're going to be looking to explore as we move forward and get our lawyer involved.
Cool. I knew you'd have it in hand. I just wanted to see your opinion on it.
No worries.
We do aim to be realistic with these sorts of things. We know that there's going to be a lot of trouble with app stores, everything like that, but we're always going to tell the community exactly how it's going and how we're going with it and how we decide to move forward. But yeah, there are definitely hurdles. There are definitely things that will need to be addressed as they come up, and that's one of them.
But as always, we're going to keep our community in the loop. Even like when I was at Grimace Coin, I was always like, look, if we fuck up or there's a problem, we're going to tell you. If things change, we're going to tell you. There's no one of the things that irritated me about that over there, it'd be like, we're building a staking dApp. Not ready. It's like, well, what's going on? Talk to your community. It took them 5 months to build a staking dApp. We're going to be here with you guys every step of the way. What's going on? Here's what we're working on. Here's some of the issues we're trying to sort out. I think there's not enough of that in the space. And I feel like essentially stockholders, investors deserve to know what's going on with where they put their money. So, everything is not going to be perfect. We fully expect that and we're aware of that, but we're not going to be trying to hide anything from you guys. So, the legal stuff is definitely going to be a big thing. But again, the CoinFlex developers, incredibly smart. They have that lawyer who's gone through everything for crypto and how to do this all properly. So we're really looking forward to getting our first conversations going with them. And obviously, it's going to take a little bit of money to make that happen. So we're definitely looking forward to the pre-sale as well.
Yeah, I can imagine. But like you said, going back to the community side of things and keeping people in the loop, the last thing you want to do is to let things fester when you're saying you're going to do something and then there's delays and stuff. So it already sounds like you've got that in hand in spades with your acknowledgement about keeping the community in loop. So that's fine. I've got a random question. What's with the branding, the Jack and the Beanstalk elements? Where did that come from?
That came from full props go to Sam. I mean, unless you think it's a terrible idea, then it's really Sam's. Otherwise, I should say it's mine, but it's not. But I came up with the name back in December, and it flows well and it rolls off the tip of your tongue. But it was like, you can't really build anything. I was like, how do we really market this? It's just, And then Sam was like, well, what if we did Jack and the Beanstalk? So for those who don't know, Jack and the Beanstalk is a fable about this guy who sold everything he owned to buy some magical being that was said to give you all this wealth. And he planted, Sam, I think you're dying. He planted them in the ground, climbed this giant beanstalk, and he went up into the clouds and found the goose that lays the golden egg. And that's literally the story of everybody in crypto. I mean, we've all used our real money or, things that we have to try and get into this space with this opportunity to maybe have, more money than we ever could have dreamed of, right? It really is that mentality. So if you think about it, we are all Jack. We've all put money in to try and find that goose that lays the golden egg. And that's why we're all here. So branding wise, it runs so parallel with with the opportunity of the crypto space. It just makes sense. And then it gives us this really funny character, gives us these fun, playful elements on our website that we'll have with like the beanstalk going off the side and the golden beans. So branding wise, it was really the final thing that made me go, fuck, I guess I better hire this guy to come and do this project with me, because this is actually a really good idea. So
yeah, nice. I like it. Golden beans. That's what it's all about. Getting them golden beans. So let's have a quick look at the tokenomic breakdown, the token supply. Because on here you've got 50% going for pre-sale, 30% going to LP. What's the remaining 20%?
That I think we're now doing 20% into LP actually. So we got to change it on the website. And then the other 30% are going to be vested or burned.
Have you got thought about an allocation for things like centralized exchange listings?
Well, that's where like a bunch of that will most likely just get vested and held off the side for that type of stuff. You know, whatever we decide to not burn, right? Depending on where we think we're going to go with this onto exchanges and all that.
Out of that remaining 30%, did you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not necessarily burnt. It might be put to use, but if it's not used, it'll be burnt.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and the buy and sell tax breakdown. So you've got 9, 10, 12%. Is it 12% buy and sell?
Yeah, 12% buy and sell.
5% towards development, 4% towards staking, 3% towards LP. Yeah, all makes sense. Anything to add, Toby? Specific questions on the...
No, I don't think so. Just remind me what the soft cap is again at pre-sale that you wanted to get.
I think we're aiming for 175,000 based off our conversation this morning.
175k, yeah.
Yeah.
From the NFT raise, the private raise kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Are you putting any of that towards LP, or is it all coming from the pre-sale? Are you reserving any, or is all the private going on marketing and stuff?
All the private is essentially going to marketing and to also, develop the staking DApp and get that done. Because, we need to have the staking DApp done before we ever come out of pre-sale, right? Because we want you to have your NFTs staked and ready to go. So the second we launch on PancakeSwap, you're going to be getting that APY pool will be filling up, right? We don't want to deny on the volume that we're going to be getting over the first few days on chart movement. So.
Okay. It just raises another little bit of a concern for me. If you don't hit your soft cap and you've got no money reserved for LP, how do you get the token launched?
Well, we would probably just do another pre-sale and bring our things down so that we can get it going. Even if we don't, worst case scenario, we don't quite have enough to fully do all the DApp and all the marketing. Once we get out and the volume comes in and starts moving around as well, that's going to be putting money back into our coffers to make sure that we can get that app developed, right? And as well, the community is going to be such a strong part of this. I think we're going to be getting a lot of traction from some of the larger spaces as well when we launch and people realize what we're trying to do here. Right now, most of this stuff is being these smaller groups and intimate communities. But when we start branching outside, even just the BSC, I think there's going to be a lot of attention, and I think our trading volume is definitely going to help us out in the worst case scenario. But I don't think we're going to have that problem.
Okay, it's just a concern of mine because I've participated in quite a lot of private sales where they've spent the money, they've got hype with the marketing, gone really hard, and then they haven't managed to hit the soft cap, and then Deegan's mentality, they've turned their attention away from it, and they've already lost the traction. So just keep that in your mind when you're going. I'm sure you will. But and then the other thing is, have you ever thought about putting in? It'd be an easy way for you to market this, but like a referral fee on the betting side of it?
A lot that I wanted to go into
Yeah.
there.
Go
Not
ahead,
only referrals, but there are some other functionalities that I aim to attract the gambling influencers with the betting influencers. They have absolutely crazy amounts of followers, but the ways that they have to collect fees for people to tail them or fade them is incredibly outdated. So some of the functionalities that we're going to be releasing in the future there is going to be specific for these influencers in order to get them to make a ton more money and have a more profitable way of using their space and their influence, right? That'll come a bit later, but we have definitely talked about different referral sort of systems and how we can maybe benefit users with referrals.
Cool. Yeah, that's it from me, Mark. It's quite thorough. So yeah, pass back over to you. Thanks, guys.
No worries.
Okay, cool. So ideally, best case scenario, we're going to go for pink sale in a couple of weeks. You're going to hit your soft cap, smash it, get your hard cap. When would you be looking to launch off the back of that?
You mean like actually just launch the token or launch the app?
Yeah, launch the token.
Launch the token. Depending on where we're at with everything else, it would be relatively quickly afterwards. We haven't fully locked that down. We're kind of just waiting to see how all that goes.
Yeah.
But it could be a couple weeks afterwards. But if we got a lot of hype and a lot of eyes on it, and we're like really stoked on it, and we're feeling the fire to do it, we could launch sooner than that. We're just gonna kind of play it by ear, and obviously we'll be updating our community as we get closer to that too on exactly what we're gonna do, right? The CoinFlip guys, just go back to the referral because RJ's just texted me here. He said they have a Web3 referral system and works perfect for us, so it should be a pretty easy implementation for us to do, which is awesome.
That's good. Yeah, definitely. So like, say you have the pre-sale in a couple of weeks, you hit the soft cap, like I said, you launch off the back of that. Obviously, there's going to be then the interim period between that and the launch of the app itself, which you said would take about 3 months in development.
Yeah, that's what we're aiming for.
And obviously, you know that people are eager. They want news straight away. They want developments and stuff. How are you going to fill that gap?
I mean, honestly, our weekly meetings are going to be very important for keeping the community engaged. We'll be doing the regular stuff. We got contests and just really growing our community organically. We'll also have testnet going ahead of time, so people will be able to come on board and test it and see how it works. And that's going to be a really big part of this. Like, we're not just going to be like, okay, here we go. People are going to have that opportunity to actually get involved and try it much earlier before it comes out. But at the end of the day, like, we're not promising anything. The second we launch, having a timeline and being a realistic timeline, I think is very important. And the people that are going to be in our community are going to understand that this is a long-term project. This is not a pump and dump. This is not just something so everyone's going to make a bit of quick money. Like, if you go talk to the CoinFlip guys on their group, they obviously had their chart go up and down, but they've been super like, this is long term, and you guys can get in now and get in early. And they hit a certain time period in, and from then on, it's just been nice, slow, consistent growth. And people are like, wow, these guys know what they're doing. Look at the updates, and their chart continually just seems to rise as they continue to develop and put information out there about what they're doing. So they have a really good track record of how to communicate and how that affects their chart and brings more people into their community. And we're going to be following pretty much that exact same method because it makes sense, and the people that are going to be involved understand that what we're doing has the potential to be $1 billion company at some point in time. There's nothing like this in the real world, and there's nothing like this in the crypto space. Not only would we be first to crypto, we'd be first to essentially the real market. And thankfully the blockchain technology gives us the opportunity to do that. So there's a ton of potential here, and this is the opportunity to get it on the ground floor.
Yeah, nice answer. Yeah, and it's like you said, you've been honest from the start and stuff. A lot of projects coming here, they understand that the development's not going to come really quickly, but they're almost scared to admit that because they know that it's going to put off investors short term, and it's going to create that whole pump and dump element and stuff. But like you guys have done, if you're honest with the community straight away, honest with investors and stuff, the type of person that you're going to get involved in investing in your token right from the off is the one that sees the longer term vision and potential and stuff. So hopefully you won't have that issue of, you know, creating FUD after week one when people realize, oh my God, what are you doing now and stuff, we're waiting too long. You know, they know that right from the off. So I don't see that being an issue, to be fair, in this situation. Okay, I think most of my questions have been covered there. There is one question we always like
I've
to ask.
just got one more question. If that's
all right. Yeah, go for it, Toby.
Sorry, mate. Just before you ask that, buddy, have you guys looked into competitors?
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Okay. What are you going to do different? I mean, I've just had a quick Google and I've found a few other people doing the same thing. What's going to make you stand out?
So I've found other kind of like bet against your friend type public apps out there in the real world. And then I've gone to try and download them, and like you can no longer download them. And like it just seems like a lot of them have really fizzled off. And I think a lot of it has to do with the way of how they're dealing with the money between people. You know, because if you were going to build a real business and a betting app where you could bet against your friends and do like a PayPal or fiat on-ramp or fiat any sort of system, you have to have a full-on business, all the licenses, everything's to be able to allow people to send money to each other like that and have you automate that process. So the blockchain makes it easier for us to do that and gives us a bit of that gray area that we've been talking about, right? And I have not seen a peer-to-peer betting app in this space. I've seen the only one that I've seen, unfortunately, has kind of died, and they haven't done anything with app or nothing like that. And that's because they didn't do their homework. And I know people were in the project like, yeah, it's dead now. So, you know, the blockchain and the peer-to-peer and the fact that the money goes directly between them is very unique.
Out of interest, was that one Cryptium?
No, the one that I'm talking about is Bet Swap.
Okay. Let me just send you a message. Let me send you a DM.
Sure.
Just have a look at that. Whether you use it to look into it. I haven't checked it out yet properly, so I don't know. You know, it might not be, like you say, it might not be existent or anything like that. But I've sent you a link, and either way, it'll be good for your research. So yeah, sorry, Mark. I'll let you crack on, buddy.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, sorry. Going back to my question, the question I always like to ask here at Legit Crypto Lounge, it's the question we finish up on here. And that is relating to long-term success of your project and how you achieve that. And for us, we believe that we need a clear vision from you, the team owners. So my final question is, at what point does this project become a success to you both personally?
I'll be honest, this project becomes a success the first day that we launch that app and people start using it and word of mouth starts to spread. You know, like to me, I look at it like making a film, right? A film is not always about making a lot of money and becoming a massive global success. A lot of times when you want to create something, the hardest part is actually creating it and getting it out there. And so many people have grand visions of doing something different with their life or their dreams, but people don't fucking do it because it's fucking hard. So at the end of the day, you know, for us to have this idea, go through the process, raise the money, and actually build the thing at the end of the day, to me, that is a success. You know, I'm fully confident that this will become a major business at the end of the day. But to me, the success is going to be defined by the fact that we did something that we've not seen done in the space before. So, you know, we're building a codeless, permissionless contract deployment with ownership held by the creator. And I think we're bringing something totally different to the table, and we're excited to be able to try and innovate in a space that requires innovation.
Nice. Okay, cool. And anything to add, Sam?
Honestly, no. I think that's pretty well covered it for mine. I'm incredibly excited to build an application that I would use, to build an application that my friends would use, and to push this sort of sphere forward. Yeah, no, I'm just every time we talk about it and come into a community like this, I was answering some of the questions in the chat there. It's really awesome to see the different ideas and engagement that people have, and I'm just really excited for the future with this one, and to see how far we can go with it. Also, something that we didn't really touch on too is there's going to be a lot of media and content that we want to provide as well for the more social media, social side of it. But again, those sorts of things we'll have to announce a little bit later, because we're kind of holding off on some things just to make sure that we can really release a functional, perfect V1 for everybody.
Interesting. I like a teaser at the end there. And thanks for your comments, Sam. Matt, something that stuck out to me at the start was you mentioned about venture capitals and, you know, whether they come in and buy out the company and stuff. Is that one of your ambitions? Like, are you looking for venture capitals? Are you looking for, you know, an end game for this?
No, not at this point in time. I mean, let's be honest. Anybody who forms a company and gets a really good offer for it, I think, would be really stoked on it. But at the end of the day, I would love to have this still be going, you know, 10 years from now, and we're still involved in it, and it's just become this massive, giant, you know, peer-to-peer gaming platform. You know, I think that's the wave of the future, and I think that we're going to be opening up those doors. So I'm not really looking to try and like dump the company or nothing like that. I mean, there's so much potential here. If I could make enough money on this and it becomes this big operation, and I can also be making my movies on the side that I want to direct, then I don't know if life could get any better than that. I mean, maybe find a girlfriend or something, but yeah, that'll come.
It sounds like a good combination.
Girlfriends are more expensive than crypto, buddy. Girlfriends are more expensive than crypto. Do not go down that road.
Bro, if I had a girlfriend, I would not be making this project because I wouldn't have had any money to dump into it, all right?
There we go. That's been added to the recording there. So here's an advert. If anybody wants to get in touch, once a boyfriend, Matt is available.
But he's actually completely broke.
Right, for the purposes of the recording, we'll leave it there. But Matt, Sam, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Good luck with pre-sale on Pink Sale, which is taking place in a couple of weeks. Obviously, keep our community updated so that we know when it's taking place and stuff. And again, ongoing, feel free to give us any updates and stuff, any milestones that you hit, and we'll share that with the community as well. But thanks a lot for joining us.
Love it. Really appreciate you guys.